Hey everyone, Coach Shannan here, coming to you again live from my gym basement. Wanted to talk to you today a little bit about foam rolling, myofascial release techniques. Basically, the fascia underneath the skin sort of is that like sinewy web that kind of holds sort of everything together. You see it on chicken, right? It's that real tough stuff that we want to try to pull off. What happens is our fascia gets really tight after we, are immobile for a while, or we've done a lot and our muscles are tight, so the fascia is constricting them. So what we want to do is help release that through massage, like self-massage techniques essentially. We can do that with a number of devices. Today I have a foam roller and I've got a kettlebell and like a mobility dome. You'd probably use like a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. I have the this is the Trigger Point Performance 2.0. I love this foam roller. You can get it pretty much, anywhere. I think like Walmart carries it, or you can definitely get it on Amazon, any running store. I like it because it's got a hole in it and it's got a PVC pipe. So the PVC pipe inside will hold your weight and it won't ever lose its shape. So it's typically sometimes the like pool noodle foam rollers that you'd get at the store, they may lose their shape and become a little bit like bowed in the middle. So I usually kind of have a little bit of a progression in terms of the things I foam roll. Mostly my glutes, my hamstrings, my quads, my calves, my lats, sometimes my upper back. So I will kind of demonstrate some of those today and show you a few other techniques. We've been doing a lot of exercise lately, and I know in addition to the exercise, people are either really tight and sore, or they haven't really done much and they get out of bed and you feel really tight and like tired. So this is a great way to kind of like wake up your muscles, get a little blood flow, and help sort of like release them, because we all can't get to our massage therapists right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off sitting on the foam roller. So I'll show you from the side. So I sit on the foam roller and just kind of like start out real easy, kind of rocking back and forth, just kind of finding and see if there's anything there, just sort of on the bottom of my butt, like my bony sort of sits points. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of roll down a little bit into my glutes, right? So I'm going to kind of go side to side. I'm going to go back and forth. I'm going to work on my right glute, so I'm going to put that right leg up over my left knee. And what I want to do is sort of lean into that. So see how I'm kind of leaning my hips totally towards the camera. My hands are behind me, supporting me. But most of my weight is all on this right glute. And I'm finding a couple of spots. You'll find it, you'll know it. A couple of spots that are a little bit tender or really tender, and you want to hold that spot. You want to hold that for, there's a good one, for maybe a good 20 to 30 seconds. We've got receptors in our muscles and all sorts of things that kind of tell our brains to do stuff. Well, these receptors in the muscles, these little, sort of things that fire, they kind of tell the muscle to relax. Right, so after about 20 or 30 seconds, it realizes I don't need to be tense anymore. I've got this really nice deep pressure. I've talked to a massage therapist recently, and she really likes sort of trigger point therapy, and that's exactly what this is. So she'd rather hold the muscle really deep with her hands manually rather than use a percussion gun, which we still like as well, at least, as trainers and people with lots of tight muscles. But for this particular case today, we're here on our foam roller, and we're just going to hold those really sensitive spots for about 20 to 30 seconds. Again, they will help your muscles relax, and I'm telling you, you will feel a whole lot different after a good 5 to 10 minutes on either side. So give it that love, really kind of roll around. What else do we have right now but time? So put in the time, roll those glutes. Then, when you've given that a little bit of love, let's roll on down to our hamstrings. So those hamstrings are basically from like the knees all the way up to the butt. So if you can, kind of just sort of rock your body forwards and backwards, put your weight on those hamstrings. And if you want to try to do one at a time, you can. It's a little bit more of a balancing act, but you're getting all your weight on that one spot, and again on the other side. So these aren't so bad. You can also just try to really balance as best as you can using your body weight. Oh yeah, there's one. There's a good spot. So I'm gonna hold that there for a few seconds. Again, try to really hold it if you can for 10 to 20, even 30 seconds is good. You'll know if you find a little pop, a little pocket, a little bubble. It feels like a bump. That's a knot. That's an adhesion. So that's like a little knot in your fascia. Because basically our fascia is, again, it's like a little web. And sort of when things get really tight, they really constrict and contract together. So you've got this like knotty web. And if you've ever gone to a massage therapist and come out feeling like you got hit by a truck, that's probably a really good thing, because you had a lot of adhesions that massage therapist really worked out. I'm going to go down to my calves. So I'm just going to, and again, you don't have to balance your entire body. You know, I have the ability to do that, so I'm going to roll back and forth. You can, the more pressure that you put on those calves, probably the better. There are other ways of stretching those calves. You can stand in a doorway and put your foot up against the doorway and lean your body tall into that doorway. If you do have questions about other techniques or other areas, let me know. You can certainly send me an email, shunt@fiddlerselbowcc.com. So giving my calves a little bit of love. Now I'm going to roll around onto my belly. I'm going to do those quads. So I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to put it above my knee, and I'm going to put all my weight again on that, and I'm going to roll back and forth from the top of my knee all the way up to my hip flexor. Holy cow. This is not fun. This is not a joyride. This is work. You might start sweating. So breathe into it, and drink water. Drink water while you're doing this. Drink water afterwards. The pain is okay. I get it. It's not comfortable. Some of us don't like this. I have clients that say, I don't like doing that because it doesn't feel good. Yeah, well, I'm sure it feels worse to walk around like a bundle of tight knots all day. So giving this a little bit of time, maybe enduring a little bit of that pain, is worth feeling a whole lot better later on. So now I'm going to go over to my right quad. But again, I'd love to see you give a little bit more time here. So what's nice about the quads is that I can support myself on my opposite leg and my arms, and really kind of still put plenty of pressure from that knee all the way up to my hip flexor. Wowza, mine are super tight. And so again, I'm gonna find that spot, I'm gonna hold it, and I'm just gonna hang out there. I'm gonna hang out there for a few seconds, maybe 30 if you can bear it. Really try to get 30. That's really gonna give you the best relief. All right, so then we're gonna go back to our back. So here we go. Now, the back may be really sensitive, so be careful. Try to keep your body nice and still. I don't want to see this bend over the back. If you're going to do this, you want to try to keep your upper body nice and still, engage your core, but really more than anything, come on down to those shoulders. Make sure the shoulders are covering that foam roller, and kind of get into your traps. The muscles, just sort of at the top of your neck, right above your shoulder blades, kind of give them some love. You can roll side to side, and again, forward and backwards. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the lats. Now the lats are underneath your latissimus dorsi. Your lats are underneath your armpit. So I'm going to roll from basically, my armpit. I'm going to roll back and forth. Oh, there is a spot right here. Wow. So see, I'm totally laying on the ground, but I've got pressure on these lats. Mine are super tight. That happens from doing rowing, from any kind of retraction exercises, supporting. So we've done some spider planks yesterday. We did bear crawls yesterday in our Tuesday class. So I'm gonna roll up and down very slowly, and then side to side. So my lats are super tight. So I probably need to give these guys a lot more love than anything else. You may also see, for you golfers out there, more range of motion. I am not kidding. And you may also notice one side may be more painful than the other. So my right side, which is my dominant side, is definitely tighter than my left side in my upper body. Again, I'm rolling back and forth underneath my armpit, and then I'm gonna go up and down, but just in a small movement, right? Just to my shoulder blade, and then just a little bit further down. I'm not going all the way down to my butt. So I'm kind of staying in that shoulder blade back area. All right, so that's pretty much most of the body. Again, this is our foam roller. We also have a couple of other devices. You've probably, if you've gone to the gym, you may have used a lacrosse ball or a golf ball. This is an Acumobility, Acumobility. It's just a little silicone dome, so I got it online on Amazon. There's a whole bunch of different products that look like torture devices. This one is great because it won't roll away. So I'm gonna lay that on the ground on its back, and I am going to lay over that on my shoulder blade. So just on the inside of the blade, below it, around it, I wanna get to a spot that really, for me, feels super sore. I've got a lot of tension on my left shoulder, and you can go into those trap muscles, just above that shoulder blade. Ooh yeah, there we go. And what I like to do is I'm moving this arm because that is essentially like rubbing the muscles over this device. So I'm creating this massage effect rather than just, you can totally lay there completely still, which is absolutely fine, and you will get a great release. However, if you want a little bit more, by just mobilizing the arm, I'm getting even more intensity in that shoulder. This is great for your glutes. You've got some really tight stuff going on in that, that low back, not on the spine, but put it into like a meaty part of the muscle, right? You just kind of want to lay on it. Wow. Oh yeah, back and forth right there in my big deep glute. Wow, that's a good one. Also the TFL, tensor fasciae latae. Yes, that is a muscle, up in the front of your hip. So right where your pocket would be, off the bone, I would say, so somewhere right around where my little pocket is right here, I'm gonna put that ball and I'm gonna roll back and forth there and try to open that up a little bit more. Again, you can do this with a lacrosse ball or a tennis ball. So something like this is great for really deep stuff. Again, same principles apply. Hold the stretch or hold that position for 30 seconds or more if you can. Something else that's great too that I learned from one of my predecessors was a little bit of quad smashing. So, sounds crazy, again, torturous. I've got a 15-pound kettlebell. You can go heavier or lighter, and I'm just gonna sit that on my quad. But what I'm gonna do is kind of massage him around, right? So I've got some pretty big quads. They do a lot of work for me. Obviously, we know that they're pretty sore. And I'm just gonna kind of mush it around. I'm gonna find a spot that's gonna definitely be sensitive, probably closer to my knee. Don't run it over the kneecap, that won't feel very good. Keep it on the big meaty part of your knees, or of your quads, or kind of along the sides. Move it around. See what I'm doing? I'm kind of like really just sort of digging into that big quad with this kettlebell, and it's painful, I'm not gonna lie, but it essentially will feel good. So I've had clients tell me, it's an odd kind of good pain, so you may know that when you feel it. Sometimes, they say no pain, no gain, but you have to have a little, there will be tension, there will be resistance, there will be, we're listening to our bodies, and so we've got to, you tune up your car, you got to keep your body tuned up, right? Great, so quad smashing with a kettlebell. You can also do that, actually you can probably also rub your calf over that too. Just kind of hold on to the kettlebell with your other foot and just rub that calf So kind of a similar purpose to the foam roller. We've got foam roller, kettlebell, tennis ball, Acumobility, golf ball. Golf ball would be great on the inside of the feet. If you've got any kind of plantar fasciitis, really roll that arch, give it some love. You really want to, my heels start to hurt because of running. I've got tight, oh, there's one more thing I forgot. We'll go back to it. I've got tight hips, so I tend to also have tight hamstrings and calves. So I roll my inner arches. The one area of the body that I forgot to roll is my IT band. That is a huge one for anybody who runs, anybody who skis, anybody who does lateral movements. Your IT band runs from your hip to your knee on the outside of the body. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the foam roller on that lateral side of the body, and I'm gonna roll it just from the base of the hip to the base or to the top of the knee. So I'm just gonna go back and forth. And again, this is super tight, but I do this before I run, and it really makes a difference in how my hips and my knees feel when I run. And this may also be great before and after those cardio classes that we do on Tuesdays and Fridays. This would also be great if you're golfing, especially if you're walking. Golf movement and the swing has a lot of work in the hips. And if your hips aren't mobile and they don't feel good and you can't get rotation, how do you expect to play good golf? So basically, foam rolling those IT bands is a must as part of your regimen. The other thing, like I mentioned, drinking water, making sure you've got, some electrolytes, magnesium, potassium, even calcium in your water. Taking a magnesium bath in Epsom salt, that will also help with your muscle soreness if you have it. If you have any other questions, shoot me an email, shunt@fiddlerselbowcc.com. Happy to help. We're just here for you, whatever we can do. But we're so grateful that you're jumping into some of these online Zoom classes and trying to stay active so that when the golf course opens and the gym reopens and all of your other gyms reopen, you can jump back into your activities. So thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.